Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our channel. If you have been conversant with what is going on in Nigeria, there have always been calls for prayers on every quarters, on every side, prayers for security, prayers for those actualizing their different countries, different states, prayers for better survival, prayers for lots of things. But right now, don't forget that before Nnamdi Kanu was brought back to Nigeria, there was a prayer going on, and there was a prayer packed out that he was actually asking everyone to pray. But as we speak, a voice that over time, ever since Nnamdi Kanu became, incommunicado, have decided to become another voice that people can listen to, especially when it comes to the issue of Biafra actualization. He has decided to tell Biafrans another form of prayer, saying that the one they were probably praying may actually be a wrong prayer. Before we go to the newspaper to find out what prayer he's advising all of us of freedom, Biafra actualization agitators to do or to say, we like you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as you update our channel on YouTube. Well, according to the disciple of Nnamdi Kanu this morning, that's Simon Ekpa, he said this morning God told him to tell Biafrans that they are praying a very wrong prayer. I'll quote him now. God said I should tell every Biafran to start praying for gift of spiritual understanding, to identify your helper or your help when it comes, because the spiritual controls the physical. You may have missed your helper because you lacked the spiritual understanding to identify when the help comes. Some of you have fought, some of you have abused, some of you have insulted, and some of you have chased away God's help, or one who God has sent to help, or your helper, because you seriously lack spiritual understanding to have identified him or her or the help. But today you keep praying and God keep answering and saying, I've been sending you a helper, but you want him dead. I sent you a helper. You planned his assassination in Kenya, but I protected him. I sent you a helper. You looked down on him and conspired to kill him several times. The last one was in Kenya. You know yourselves. The church in Nigeria have been praying to God against issues, but God sent you a helper to help you liberate yourself from Nigeria. But you and some of your pastors lack spiritual understanding to know that God answered your prayers already and have sent you a helper. But did you know this? He asked. If you know that your helper is not in DSS custody, as a Christian in Nigeria, you should embark on civil disobedience of any magnitude by following, for example, Dr. Malafia's suggestion of a week sit at home or something, and demand the release of Nnamdi Kanu, Sunday Igboho, to stop the Fulani movement across Nigeria, enforcement of ban on open grazing, and so on and so forth. Pray for spiritual understanding, because the spiritual controls the physical. Some of the people you are unnecessarily fighting against today may be your prayer answered for this particular critical time of our lives, but you lack the spiritual understanding to identify that the person you're fighting for the person, I take that again, the person you're fighting for no reason is a God sent and a prayer answered. The person or the people you pushed away in your life may have been the people God sent to you as a prayer answered, but because you lack spiritual understanding, you pushed them away from your life, thereby making your situation in life unchangeable. Great Biafrans, great Nigerians, great Christians in Nigeria, please change your prayer point from today. Start praying for spiritual knowledge and understanding to enable you identify a helper or a help. And when God sends someone or people to you as an answer to your prayer, please send these messages to pastors. I am Simon Ekpa, Nnamdi Kanu disciple on Biafra restoration. Okay, he's talking about Nnamdi Kanu now, saying that Nnamdi Kanu is the answer to prayers that Nigerians have been praying, as some sort of messiah that will help liberate Nigeria from the issues of insecurity and all the menaces that is going on. But aside the issue of Biafra actualization, this prayer makes a lot of sense outside Biafra agitation now. If you can understand that prayers are answered, or God has sent you a help, and you don't have spirit of discernment, let's leave the issue of Biafra actualization now. Generally in life, you may not go far in life. It's actually it's something we should brood on, something we should brainstorm in our individual lives. All right, he's saying, okay, but bringing it back to the issue of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, some of the things a whole lot of people are seeing as at now has been something Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have been talking about for almost donkey years now, for years now. As in, a lot of persons do not like his style because he seemed to be quite crude. He seemed to be not nice with the use of words. He seemed to be, permit me to use the word, almost insultive, because he realized, pardon me now, but he realized that in being calm, in being smooth, in being very civilized, he won't get the attention of many. So people just look at him, one of those persons who just like to talk. But in being rude, crude, daring, insultive, he got the attention of many. Technically speaking, saying, who is this very rude guy that talks to people anyhow? At the end of this, what gives this guy this kind of guts to talk to people anyhow? He has finally gotten the attention of many. But people went as far as saying that the way he went about it was wrong. But taking away the messenger now, let's forget about the messenger now. Let's look at the message. Some of the things he has warned Nigerians against, they're almost happening. The issue of banditry, the issue of kidnapping, the issue of banditry being now a business booming venture in the north is a terrible one, but it's beginning to happen. Okay, but he's not saying that. He's not saying that maybe, that's Timothy talking that maybe the prayers we've been praying, God has answered it, but just maybe we are not looking at it in the right dimension. Maybe we looked at Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as one Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Never knew that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the person whom God has put to begin to shout in the mountaintop so that people can hear his voice. All right, but one way or the other, whether we like it or yes, some of the things he has said are beginning to play out. Nigerians will just like I think Governor Masari now also thereabout, the one the Katsina governor that said like it or hate it, propaganda or not. Even if we say the truth and the truth is very bitter, the truth is that the bandits are his brothers, speak the same language with him, are from his state, have the same belief system with him. They're the one troubling his state. It is not saying not 100% of them, but at least 80% of them they speak Fufude, which means they originate from his kindred, as in from his people. So you now understand that he's not comfortable saying the truth, but it's the bitter truth, propaganda or not. That's the harsh reality, and that's the harsh reality. We also should look ourselves in our faces and tell ourselves the truth. This issue of insecurity, did we not hear about it at some point? Probably because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not in security quarters or agencies, so we probably didn't take him serious. But right now, it's staring us in the face. Do you agree with what Simonekpa is saying? Maybe we should start changing the prayers, or do you think he's actually going a bit out of the box, taking it a bit too far?